Welcome everybody to Rob's MetalWorks. We are here today at the home studio for a very special evening. Yes, we're turning up the brutality, the dark brutality with a band from the Rio Grande Valley. You've heard me talk about them on our socials. Yes, Unholy Desecration is here in the studio today. How are you guys doing?
Good, good. Great.
Thanks for having us.
Well, you know, I've been talking with Jaime for a little while now, and he sent me the band's latest effort, and I had a time to jam it, and I really enjoyed it. You know, I'm one of those people that I like the whole gamut, and I love good black metal or death metal or whatever you guys want to call it, black metal. If it's good though, and I really enjoyed the CD. So I said, Jaime, we got to get you guys up here. And I also want to say thank you for coming up here, driving all the way up here from the Rio Grande Valley to do this interview. Definitely my pleasure to have you and to support you and to support your music. So let's get started, guys. You know, it kind of seems that I've been meeting more and supporting more bands from the Rio Grande Valley. I think you guys are probably like the heaviest band I've interviewed in quite some time. The Pantheon guys have been on Rob's before. They've never been in the studio, but they've been on Rob's before. Tell us a little bit about the beginnings of Unholy Desecration. How long have you guys been around, and how did you guys kind of form? Because as I came to find out, I remember Leo from Slow Grind, so talk a little bit about that.
Why you point at me for?
Hey, you always like to talk. Now you want to talk?
Well,
Yeah, buddy.
Unholy Desecration, it started off for the remains of Satanical Torment, which is the band they had. Josh and Rob were in before I joined the band. Their other vocalist, he's Lord Picos, yes, which he just passed this past year. So
I remember hearing about that, or I heard some press about that he had passed away.
Yeah.
You guys are, and I think I got it because you guys were talking about him like he had passed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, he started some side project bands. Was kind of like distancing himself from this band, you know, the main project. So they gave me a call. Hey, what are you doing? We need another vocalist. You know, so I came down and started practicing with him, and Unholy Desecration was born from there.
So Rob, you were like, I'm ready to move on to something new after he had kind of started.
Well, it was a decision me and my drummer Arno Garza that we took. We were like, you know what? Let's keep on going forward.
Sure.
So we got another singer. And with a new singer, we decided to change the name of the band because we didn't feel right, you know, keeping the Satanical Torment name without our ex-singer, Lord Picos.
And so that, what year was it, like 2017?
October 2017.
October,
Yeah.
That's when I first went over there.
Yeah. Well, that's killer, man. Talk a little bit about, you know, I think one of the cool things too that kind of intrigued me about Unholy Desecration is kind of like the imagery. You guys are like really dark and wicked, and even before Unholy Desecration, Rob, obviously you kind of like that vision and kind of that imagery. What is it about that imagery that you really dig or kind of attracts you to it?
It's just something that I believe in.
Oh, okay.
It's something that I took into account many years ago, you know, and with my other singer, me and him, you know, brought this image into the band.
Yeah.
You know, so that's...
It's basically like he always says. Whenever we're writing anything, it's like just make sure it's evil as fuck. That's,
Is that what Rob tells you?
That's pretty much the ethos. Like, so that kind of gives you the mentality of where he comes from. It's like anytime we write anything, it's like just make sure it's evil as fuck. Like, all right.
I think you know, if you really look back into the anodes of metal, there have always kind of been bands who've kind of had some of that imagery. You know, like I think about Possessed and. You know,
Venom.
Celtic Frost and, you know, old Celtic Frost. And, you know, obviously in Slayer, What do you think it is about that kind of imagery that, even if you don't really actually believe in the ideology, that still attracts people to it? What do you think?
Okay, yeah, what Rob just said, we're attracted to the unknown. That, and that, I think that we all kind of, in different ways, deal with negative, whatever it is, emotions or whatever it is. And so that automatically is the reason why we choose to play this kind of music, which is not very accessible for most people.
Right.
Like, meaning we're not doing it to get popularity
Sure.
or any of that kind of thing. It's just an expression of what we feel inside. And that whole keep it evil as fuck kind of mentality is kind of, I know what he's saying by that. I mean, yes, he means it in one way, but I also take it to me like just make sure it's expressing that part, that dark part. That's kind of like that most people that listen to our kind of music can always relate to. They all go through those kind of emotions, and so our job is to basically bring that out of them. Like, at the same time, we're basically just bringing that out of ourselves, basically.
I think we're all got a little bit of evil in us, to some extent.
Yeah.
Some have more than others.
It's just, that works.
But I think we all have had our evil little thoughts that we kind of keep to ourselves.
Right.
But yeah, I think that kind of too. Like, I've always kind of had an attraction for bands who kind of dwell in like Rob said, the satanic unknown kind of thingy, and it's kind of scary, because it is unknown.
It's actually kind of like you just said, like we kind of keep to ourselves, that kind of thing, because we write music. We're still keeping it to ourselves, but expressing it, without saying it directly.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of like a covert way of doing it.
Sure.
Basically, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, we're getting it out without actually saying what's going on inside. Because that leaves you pretty vulnerable. That leaves you belly up. So we don't want to do that.
So Unholy Desecration was born in the fall of 2017. Where did that name come from, Unholy Desecration?
That name, we actually sat around and just brainstormed. Rob wanted something with the word desecration in it.
I think we started with like Angel of Desecration.
Yeah, we threw a
Desecrated Angel or something like that.
Yeah.
And Arnold did he said no, that's not cool enough. And so then
it's kind of generic.
yeah, it's kind of
Right.
he goes, what about something that says like betrayal, like backstabbing?
Okay.
And we were trying to figure out something that refers like betrayal or backstabbing. And then I don't know who came up with like unholy. And then I said, well, desecration. And then Jaime goes, yeah. So you want something with desecration? Well, hell yeah, we'll do it like unholy desecration to desecrate anything that's holy.
Right.
We'll desecrate, whatever. And our music kind of expresses, where we desecrate whatever it's holy. So that's where the name Unholy Desecration came from.
It has like a really good flow to it. I like it.
That's a good point.
Yeah, and it doesn't sound cheesy. It sounds really heavy and wicked. So, yeah, good name. I always tell all bands that I talk to, band names are so
And
important.
then what helped out was the fact that we got, what's his name? Christoph, they call him Lord of the Logos, the guy that did Emperor's logo. He's the one that did our logo for us.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I've done that.
Ah,
And he
killer.
kind of, I guess you could say he captured it just in that little logo that he made.
He made it like an old school.
Yeah. And it's legible.
Good point.
Not like some of these bands that you can't, like, what does it say?
Right.
Yeah, like a bunch of thorns and twigs put together, like, yeah.
Yeah. So, on your socials, it says blackened death metal. So, people I think in the past have kind of like, you hear about progressive black metal and symphonic black metal. And you guys are speedy and really, in some of your songs, like I remember the opening track of the record, you just kind of come out pummeling,
Yeah.
Right.
It's really, it hits you, and it's kind of like, it's really bombastic. It's like from all fucking sides.
Right.
So when you think about, I remember thinking about, like, I don't think I'd ever heard anybody use the description of blackened death metal before. What is that kind of? How do you kind of implement or combine kind of some of those two genres into one?
Something that was
Well, because when I joined the band, I listened to the music, and you hear some black metal overtones included in there. I mean, it's death metal, but you hear some black metal overtones in there, so that's why I said it's blackened death metal.
Yeah.
I always thought it was extreme metal.
Yeah.
Extreme, you know.
Yeah.
That's usually what I use. Yeah,
You know, because I don't categorize it like black metal or death metal. I just categorize it extreme. To me, extreme is like fast, brutal, heavy. You know, anger.
Right.
That's kind of I like write some with some anger. You know, that's the way I categorize it, extreme. But people categorize it as black death metal or
Aggressive, definitely aggressive.
I think that's he says extreme metal for the same reason I do, because like we automatically don't want to box ourselves into if you put something black or death, whatever, you kind of like automatically or at least the audience kind of expects you to kind of box yourself into that. And Rob uses the same description I do, which is extreme metal, because that kind of leaves it open for anything. Which is that's where we are. We don't say, well, now make it sound more like this or add more of this. Like it's just we just write the songs.
None of our songs sound the same.
Right.
All our songs are different. They have different influences in there. You know, which it's all extreme.
Yeah.
But it not
That's the main-
not all songs sound the same. If you listen to our album, one song sounds like this, another song sounds like this, another song goes like this, and they're all different. You know, it's not just like some other bands that is just
Right.
Exactly.
you know, and all the songs start with you know.
That's it. Yeah.
It's like
that's a perfect description. Yeah.
Ken recently he's called Ken's Death Metal Crypt or something like that. He's out of Ohio. He said, he goes, you hear a heavy metal vibe in there, but then you hear this, some little bit of a punk and a little bit. I mean, you listen to different songs like As She Walks Through the Moonlight Path. That one has a lot of punk.
I love that's one of my favorite songs.
Yeah, it has a punk vibe to it.
Yeah.
It's got a punk vibe to it.
That's very thrashy. I love that. I love playing that part.
And I love Blades of War too. Love the kind of like
That
the
one's real
intro of
epic.
that one. Yeah.
It's just an epic
Good
song.
songs, man.
Yeah, it is.
And it's killer because as you see like the artwork and you hear the titles of the songs and obviously the title of the record, Unholy Horde, obviously you can just tell even too not only what you use to tell people about your band, but just the titles of the songs are pretty fucking wicked.
Yeah, it kind of takes you into a soundscape, so to speak. I call them soundscapes.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty wicked stuff. So you have tracks like Dawn of Evil and Praise My Hell, and I think
That's the opening track.
on one of my posts I put, I'm gonna see Unholy Desecration this weekend. We're gonna be at one with Hell or something like that. We'll be hanging with the band.
See, some of those titles actually had different titles because of the previous vocalist.
Yeah.
He had different, but I'm the one that renamed some of those.
Right.
Because I asked them, do you have lyrics? They're like, no. So I had to write lyrics for all the songs except for the only one that I got help with was As She Walks. Our drummer helped write half of that, and I wrote the other half. But everything else, I wrote the lyrics. The only songs that still have the original titles is Born of Evil,
Right, yeah.
Sacrifice,
Mm-hmm.
Seeds of Rebellion. Those are the only ones I think that still have the
That
original
stayed.
titles.
Yeah. So can you tell me what the what did I tell you earlier, the 9 circles of hell are? When I read that in your bio, I was like, 9 circles of hell. I said, I've never heard of that before.
Yeah,
Is that just something you guys made up, or
No, that's an actual thing. Yeah, if you
That's
ever watch read the book from Dante's Inferno,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
it talks about the 9 different rings of 9 levels of hell.
Oh, okay.
Corresponding to a certain sin.
Yeah,
Those
gluttony,
those being treachery, right?
gluttony, pride.
Those were Satan himself.
Yeah,
resides in his
those are all the
treachery, I think.
because it's 7 deadly sins.
Lust,
Lust, yes. That's it.
sloth.
Yes, sloth,
Gluttony.
those,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
pride, all of those.
We've all kind of succumbed to each one of those. Some of those, I guess.
Somewhere down the line.
Somewhere.
Human nature, yeah. It's human
Yeah,
nature.
yeah.
It's human nature.
Okay, so cool. And then shortly thereafter, we were talking about this off camera. Shortly thereafter, the formation of the band, you guys released an EP.
Yeah.
Yeah, how that was pretty damn quick to kind of get something out. So were those songs in the EP kind of like older songs or something that you guys had put together?
They before I joined the band, they were already in the process of recording those.
Oh, okay.
So you know, again, because there are other vocalists prior to me, you know,
Yeah.
he was starting side projects and nothing got done. So when I joined, you know, things got moving.
Yeah. And so you released this. It was a 3-song EP.
Yeah, 3-song.
Is that still available out there anywhere? Is it on YouTube or anything?
Yeah, it's on YouTube. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's on Bandcamp.
Oh, it's on Bandcamp
Yeah,
too?
it's on- yeah.
I gotta look for it. I've been so focused on Unholy Horde that I didn't have a chance to really kind of look for it. What was the title of it? Oh, it was just
Born
a
of
self.
Evil.
Oh, Born of Evil.
Yeah,
That's right.
Born of Evil.
Born of Evil. I thought it was a self-title, but okay, Born of Evil. I'll have to look for it and check it out. Did you guys record that yourselves?
Yeah.
Yeah. You were telling me, Rob, it was a little rough.
Yeah, it's basically it's very raw.
Yeah.
It sounds evil as fuck.
Yeah. And sometimes like if you have, you know, like I'm one of these people, like I said, I like it all, but you do have some fans who are like just like total black metal purists.
Yes.
And that's the way that they want it, is
Yes.
totally
Yeah.
rough and raw.
Right there.
They don't want it too polished up. They don't want no fucking like Dimmu Borgir shit. Like now it's all polished up.
Right there.
Yeah.
Mic in the corner of the room.
Yeah. Right, go.
Small amp in the
See,
mic.
like a mic in the corner of the room, but
And there you go. Let's put it out. It's good.
It's good.
Our diehard fans are gonna love it.
okay.
And it didn't cost that much.
That's the trick, guys. That's the trick.
Okay, good. Okay, great. And so I know that the you know, a couple of years later now, in last year in 2020, you guys released Unholy Horde, which is kind of like your first official release. And one of the things too that I really enjoyed about this release is that it's like a full length fucking release. Like really full length, like 11 tracks or 10 tracks with the outro.
Yeah.
A full length record. And were the songs from the EP on Unholy Horde?
Yes.
And you redid them?
Born of Evil, Bestial Lust, and
Sacrifice.
no, not Sacrifice.
It was Born of Evil,
Bestial Lust,
Bestial Lust,
and Blaze of War.
Blades of War.
Yeah.
Okay, but you re-recorded them and everything?
Yeah.
Yeah, killer. And then when did that come out? In early 20?
The EP?
No,
Oh,
Unholy
the album?
Horde. Yeah.
February 2020.
Oh man, that kind of must have sucked.
Yes,
huh?
yeah, because we had
Dude, that sucks.
we had for the following month of March, we had our CD release party that we were gonna do, or release show,
Yeah.
or whatever. That the week of the show, that's when they did the shutdown.
Yep.
So we had to we held out. We like
Oh,
we're gonna hold
man.
off. We're gonna hold off.
Shooey, and like it pretty much became a thing. Like nope, no more bars, no more get-togethers. Like fuck. Like,
That really sucks, guys.
We sold a lot of CDs to people without an actual CD release party.
Yeah.
A lot of people were contacting Jaime. Hey, you know, can you sell me a CD? Actually, I think we send 20 to Poland, and then 10 to Mexico. You know, so we did a lot of sales.
Did you sell any in Brownsville? Isn't there a lot of evil people in Brownsville? A bunch of brujeria in Brownsville?
We've over the
They
year
kill people in Brownsville? I better shut up. They're going to kill me.
over the year of 20,
Right? I better shut the fuck up. They're going to put a hit on me.
over the year of 2020 during the pandemic, I've been sending merch out to Netherlands, England. I mean, we've been
That's
sending
great.
New York, California, Boston. I mean, we've been sending the merch out everywhere.
even though this guy's like, I saw blah blah. We're here, like.
He's like, I tell him, hey, check your PayPal or check your Cash App. He's like, what? You know, he goes, oh, I was like, yeah,
But it's kind of costly to ship way over there, right?
yeah.
That's the thing that sucks.
Sending overseas is it's
Kind
costly.
of costly, yeah. But hey, it's all rock and roll, man. And you know, if people are jamming your shit in Europe and all over Europe, then I guess that's a good thing. That's what counts, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So obviously you guys were shut down from playing any shows. The record was done. It was out. So what did y'all guys do for the rest of 2020 during the pandemic? How did you guys kind of adjust to that? Did y'all continue to practice?
Practice and write.
Or, okay, continue to write.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all we've been concentrating on. Just
They essentially got me. Okay, like we mentioned the February thing. They got me in the band.
December.
Yeah, December. December.
Yeah, because
December. And I think I've been in the band for maybe about 6 weeks or so. I played one show with these guys. They were like, "Don't," because they thought I wasn't ready yet. I messed up a couple parts, but I'm glad I did that show. That one show in February, and then literally the CD release, which was supposed to be our first show, that's when everything went to shit.
Yeah.
So it was like, well, all right, that was a bummer, but it was like, well, now that we have to be just at our place and we can't do any shows, well, then this is right. That way we don't come back after whatever. How long? We didn't know how long the lockdown was going to be, right? At the beginning, we all thought it was going to be a couple of months, maybe 6 months tops, and then all right, by the end of the year we'd be good. And yeah, that didn't happen. So we're like, well, regardless of whatever happens, let's make sure that when we come back, that everybody knows that we weren't just sitting on our asses. And we intentionally wanted to come back, and that's, I think, still our plan. Like, when we first play whatever show we're going to play first, then we're going to bust out a bunch of new material. Now everybody knows, like, yeah, these guys haven't just been doing nothing. Like, we have brand new material.
Sure.
Along with the album, which we didn't even have to have a CD release for.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a double dose. So we would come back with full double balls.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to talk about what lies ahead musically. So that's good. I mean, you have to kind of stay busy, and kind of keep the band name out there, either through social media or shipping CDs out. So let's go ahead and talk about Unholy Horde officially. And for all you people out there who have not yet seen the latest from the band, it is called Unholy Horde. Came out in the spring of 2020. Be sure to take a good look at it. You can find it all out there on all music outlets, pretty much.
Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon Music.
You have Spotify descriptions? It's on there.
Yeah. So everybody out there, be sure to pick it up after you watch this interview. One of the things that and Rob kind of talked about, how raw the EP was. When I listened to Unholy Horde 2, it's not too polished either. For me, it kind of felt like I was right in the middle. It was not too rough and it was not too polished. Kind of really good. So you recorded it at your studio?
Yeah, recorded at their studio, and I sent it off to get mixed and mastered.
Oh, okay.
Because if I knew if I would mix it or master it, I would never finish.
Oh, yeah.
Because you want it a certain way, and you'll always find something. So it's always best if you do your own stuff, just send it off to get mixed. And it was with somebody with fresh ears, they'll do whatever they can do, and there's nothing you can be like, oh, But yeah, I was back and forth with the guy who was mixing it with me. No, bass drums are too loud. They're too clean. I want them dirty. He sent another. No, do this like this, and then he sent it back. No, like this, until finally he got it like the way we wanted it. And he busted it out.
Was he a black metal guy?
No.
Yeah.
He's more metalcore.
He's more than metalcore.
Yeah.
A lot of people know him down there in the valleys.
He's from somebody
Josh
from
Widowmaker Studio.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Josh Lopez. He plays bass for Immortal Guardian and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah. But I mean, he was familiar with the band.
Yes. He was familiar with the band, with the music, and all that. So he did a real good job with our album.
He got kind of like we just said, where it's a mix of that. It's a mix of basically, like you said, like where it's not too clean and it's not too dirty, because none of us like dirty, period. And none of us like too clean either. We don't like that pristine, ultra digital, ultra known nothing. Like, we're all old schoolers, so we want that little bit of crust, just a little bit of crust.
Yeah. And it also seems too like just from a lot of the press that you guys have been receiving on the record, that the reception for the record's been really good too. You guys are getting a lot of press from it.
Yeah, we've had a lot of reviews on that album. Rob sometimes gets a little upset because the reviewers tend to focus on the vocals instead of the music.
Yeah,
and he's like, I asked him the last time, hey, how'd you like that interview? He's like, pues a ti te mamaron la verga.
Any press is good press, Rob.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
We've had all the reviews have been really good.
Yeah.
One guy from Spain that reviewed it.
that
He
was
said
the one.
he said he'd need a little more blast beats, but you know that's
But yeah, that's a very personal opinion.
yeah.
I do.
All in all, they've been mostly
Those are more
favorable.
blast
All in all, they've been mostly favorable, man.
Yeah, they've all been pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Pretty good. I saw that, and that's great that you're getting press from all over places. I think people are becoming more familiar with the name Unholy Desecration now. So that's good, man. That's good. So have you guys played a show since February?
No.
No shows yet.
That was our last show. It was the Border Assault Fest. It was a 2-day festival in Laredo. The headlining bands were Hellstar and Blood Red Throne from Norway.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was an awesome show. It was an awesome show. In fact, Archangel played on that same show with us.
Yeah.
They played the same day on Friday. It was in 2 venues though. It was at the Electric Lounge and at Cold Brew. Cold Brew was the other. So it was a block away from each other. So one band was playing while the other at the other venue they were setting up.
Yeah, as we talk about shows too, we're talking and we had crossed paths before in 2018 at Aldebarrio's Thrash Bash in the Valley.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, we should have interviewed back then to talk about the band. But you guys were still very young at that time.
That was
as
actually
far that was your first show.
Yeah, that was our first show.
Oh,
As
really?
Unholy Desecration.
Wow.
Wow. Oh shit.
Wow, that was before you were in the band. Leon?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Did y'all have another guitar player before Leon?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Drew. That was
Yeah,
his name,
yeah,
Drew.
okay.
Or like he called himself Erebus.
And I can't even remember. Oh man, I remember. You guys played late, right?
Yeah, we played after Severance. Before Confused.
Oh, okay. Then I was still there, and I'm sure I don't know if I have footage of you guys or not. I have to check my archive, but I remember by the time Confused came on, I was beat, bro. I was like, I was done. I remember,
Interviews all day. I remember you mentioned that. Yeah.
And we-
that's exhausting.
I remember we got to the Valley too. We checked into the hotel, and we just started partying too. So we were already drinking, man. So
That'll do it.
Yep.
I was beat.
Welcome to the Valley.
Hopefully we'll be going back down there, and hopefully I'll run across paths with you guys again. I don't go to the Valley too much, but
Especially
every time I
Brownsville.
go, every time I go, I have a good time. So what's the plan now? That it seems like things are opening up now. At least they are here in San Antonio. Are they opening up in the Valley?
Yeah, there's been shows going on. Still haven't been really too many extreme metal shows. I've been to a few shows where it's like a mix and match of different types of bands, but there's shows starting to pop up. You know,
Yeah.
starting to open up and stuff.
And so, how soon do you guys want to start playing again?
We ain't gonna do it until next year.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah,
why, Rob? Why do you want to wait until next year?
First and foremost,
All right. Great. Well,
No.
Nicely done.
we just want to concentrate on the new songs
Okay.
that we have, and so we could record them and have them ready for next year. Because we talked about it, and like my guitar player says, no, not my guitar player, our guitar player says. So that if we concentrate on doing shows, it'll take away from the writing process.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
He mentioned that, like, cause there was a couple times where Rob mentioned a couple of shows that we might play this year. We kind of had an idea that, like, let's put the album out first. Let's just concentrate on writing and getting an album done. That we're not in the, because like most bands, if you get into the phase where you're gonna play shows, you get into that mindset. This show, and you concentrate on the set list and all that shit, and so you forget writing.
Right.
And we don't want to lose that, like what we've had basically in all of 2020. Yeah, exactly. We don't want to lose that momentum. We want to keep that. Hey, let's keep writing. Let's keep digging in, and then when it's all done, then we can start talking about shows.
Yeah, and
but
I think
only until it's done.
It's cool too because, you know, next time you guys do play, it's gonna be like, oh shit, Unholy Desecration is gonna play. They haven't played in a long time, or they don't play out too often. You know, sometimes I think bands, just because they can play, they do play, and they kind of overplay themselves out.
Right there.
You know, yeah. You know, you're playing every weekend. You know, yeah, bro.
Exactly.
Oh, them again.
Exactly.
Yeah, you become yesterday's news very quickly.
Yeah, and I've seen bands kind of fall into that trap many times here. Yeah, here in San Antonio. So let's kind of got a couple of things that I want to kind of segue into. we kind of have been talking about the valley a little bit, and as I opened up our conversation today, I kind of mentioned that I've been kind of working with more bands from the valley. We talked about Panteon, and we've talked about Archangel, and Jaime from Severance was here not too long ago.
I saw that.
Al DeBarrio and Confused, who originally is from the valley. So to me, it kind of seems like, the heavy scene, the metal scene, whatever you want to call it, in the valley is really kind of has a lot of momentum right now. It's kind of like really strong. And one of the cool things that I like about the RGV is like you guys kind of have like all these little towns that make up the RGV.
But it's just a bunch of towns, like you just said.
Yeah. And I think that's kind of cool.
It's like right now we have bands like they just formed and they already signed to a label. Cryptic Mutation. We have Glass Perversion. We have Visions of Annihilation. I mean, all great bands, dude. Are great fucking death metal bands.
Wizard Wolf,
yes. He recorded them too.
Yeah.
They're like a psychedelic doom.
Yeah.
Real good stuff, man.
And that's great too. That's what I talk about. Like a lot of times when people say like, oh, let's talk about the scene in this area. I like to talk about it from two perspectives. One, do fans come out and do they go to the shows? Yeah, I heard about, all these killer shows that are happening, tours that are coming in, and fans will come out. And then I also want to talk about like the musicians and the bands and original music. That's also a big part of the scene too. So, that's what I was talking about. That the fact that there are more musicians and bands and I think one of the things too that I've kind of come to know about the valley is that the musicians from that area, I mean, you guys are like really committed to what you do. Like you got like Severance, they've been around for 30 years, Chingo. And Archangel, they've been around. They're young, but still, they're continuing to work hard, and move forward. And you guys, even though Unholy Horde is 5 years old, you're still doing it before then. Yeah. So it's not like people drop out. Like once you're in, and you're doing your own thing, and you have a lot of pride and passion about heavy metal.
I mean, collectively, if you think about it, just within us four here, I've been in my first band, Discry. Then I was in another band called Altercate, Eternal Crown, which they just reformed recently. Leo was Slow Grind.
These guys, Dr. Hollow. I mean, between all of us, it's probably like a century of experience.
Sure.
Yeah. Rob with Scarabus and Satanical Torment, and he was with.
I was with Wraith, Satanical Torment, now Unholy Desecration. Right now, I'm jamming with another band called Light Curse, featuring ex-members from Severance. You know what I mean? It's we all got experience that we bring into the table to create what we have now. You know what I mean?
Do you think like all the musicians down there, they're pretty cool with each other? Like, is it like a brotherhood?
Oh yeah.
Like we all know each other.
There's always, of course, a few exceptions, right? There's always
right.
Yeah, there's always the outliers that just become bitter, like
Yeah.
But for the most part, for the most part, it's kind of like this. It's basically like in the same way that
it's a brotherhood.
That all of us are in different bands, and we all are in this band now, and we're all like where we are right now. It's pretty much like that.
Sure.
Like that.
I think that's something too that because you guys aren't too big in the valley,
right.
You guys have more of a sense of community.
There you go.
Like here in San Antonio, we're not. I don't consider us a big city either, but we're big enough where like. You could be in the middle scene and not see somebody for a long ass time.
Right there.
Unless
and kind of like you said, where it's a bunch of small towns.
Yeah,
that's essentially what it is. It's small towns, but all close together.
Sure.
Literally, you just cross a certain. Okay, now you're in Mercedes. Now you're in San Juan or whatever. And so, but it is small towns, and so it has that small town mentality.
Yeah.
Everybody knows everybody. Everybody knows where everybody lives, and blah blah blah.
Do y'all consider Brownsville part of the valley or no?
Yeah.
The Rio Grande Valley? I mean, because how far away is it?
It's a drive.
How many hours?
It's away from McAllen.
Oh, okay. That's not far then.
It's right at the. I mean.
Yeah. Yeah.
Brownsville's considered the biggest city in the valley, population-wise.
Is it? It is.
then McAllen. I would say McAllen second. You know.
Do you guys ever play shows in Brownsville?
Yeah, we played at a show in July called the Kraken Lounge. Oh my God, that fucking stage was so small for five big guys to be up there.
Yeah, I was gonna say big guys like you.
And then our drummer passed out on the last song.
Out in the middle of the song, or in the beginning of the last song.
And what did y'all stop?
No, we kept going.
You're like, he stopped playing.
And then all of a sudden, it's because it
was he fucked up? Or
no,
what?
it was hot.
It was hot?
It was super hot.
How hot it was out there.
Dude, comprele un abanico, bro. Chinga. With some of the band money.
Because he's a drummer for Confused. So when Confused came on, he had a fan. He's like, how come you didn't use the fan? Well, nobody gave it to me. It was just there.
Was that fan belonged to overt enemy?
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot about Rob Hahn and Overt Enemy in the Valley, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great, man. Yeah, Brownsville's kind of always intrigued me because of all the crazy shit that I hear about Brownsville. I think I've been there once or twice. But when I think about the Valley, I think more like Weslaco and McAllen and
well, see,
Harlingen.
The funny thing about the Valley, I mean, I've been in the metal scene since '89, and I've seen it shifts. Like once for a particular amount of time, Brownsville will have all the bands and like all the shows going on. And then all of a sudden it shifts to McAllen. There's a bunch of bands over there and shows going on over there. And then in Harlingen, it just like, you know, turned over time, you know.
Yeah.
It wasn't like that back then. And the year like around 2000, I used to do shows at Treading Point. You know, we used to do a lot of shows, and other bands were united. Like, you know, we would do shows. Sometimes we would do festivals, and I would have punk bands, rock bands, you know, metal bands, black metal, death metal, you know, all genres. And we used to, you know, hang out together after the show. We would go to my house, you know, have a party, and it was done in Edinburgh. You know, by the end, before I went to prison. Before I went to prison, we were drawing in like 300 to 400 people. It was real good. Everybody wanted to go play down there. Even big bands. I brought Monomarth when there were nobodies.
Nice. Yeah, I remember.
When there were nobodies.
Yep.
Diabolic, Prison Razors.
Yep.
You know, I brought a whole bunch of bands, and we used to be together. When I went to prison, and I came back out in 2007, everything was divided. You know, I went to my first show. I saw a whole bunch of little kids, you know, doing karate chops. Like, what the hell is this? No, it's a new deal. What do you mean new deal? It was something new to me.
Sure.
I was freaking out. And then a band would finish playing, and everybody would leave. And I said, what's going on? I said, no, they only come forward with their friends. And
Sure.
You know, so everything got divided. Everything was divided, and now I think it's coming back around that everybody's getting together again.
Yeah.
You know, but before then it was all separated.
I think that's a really good point. And we've definitely seen that here in San Antonio. I don't know, maybe around that time or maybe even before that. But I have to agree with you too. It kind of seems like now, I think because of the pandemic and all the things that happened with the pandemic, we realized kind of how fragile not only our metal scene was, but our society is. Yeah. Right. And people are kind of like realizing, oh man, you know, life is precious, and it can be taken away from you pretty fucking quickly. And you know, be cool.
It's better to be
Let's
united.
support each other. Yeah, it's better. It's better to be united.
I think that's a solid point right there. Like that's one of the things that's I think helping to bring back that mentality that was around when he was doing it. Is that people kind of like you said kind of start to file into their own little sections, like he's saying, where like, oh, it's just we're here for this band or this here for this thing or whatever, and for whatever reason that happened, you know, like anything else, everything changes, and then after the pandemic, everybody kind of realized like, hey, to hell with this, man, we're stronger united. And it's starting to go back towards that kind of, but just like anything else, there's phases, and so like I think it's coming back to that phase where like you realize we're strong united. Because without each other, like I mean, you're weak.
And that's what I want to see. I want to see everybody together, not divided. Just because we play extreme metal or black and death metal, and you play gent or you play different. You're not worthy to play with us, or we're not worthy to play with you. It's music. We all play the same. We speak the same language, music.
Yeah, man. Music is a universal language, man. We gotta, keep it. You know what I mean? Like it's the common, universal language. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like crazy.
And you have to be able to respect all genres of heaviness. Oh,
of course,
and of course, I'm not the type of person saying, fuck you, you're not evil enough.
Yeah, you're not evil enough, dude. God damn. I remember one of the things that caught me, as we're on the topic of, how fragile our world is. I think one of the lyrics from your record that kind of caught me was that Unholy Horde was the war cry for the end of the world. And I thought that was kind of powerful because, I think there are, we see, I'm very worldly. I read the news all the time, and I'm not just about what's happening in San Antonio, but all over the world. And you see a lot of scary things that are happening. And I think sometimes people, like everyday people like us, we get so caught up with our families, our kids, our work, our little lives that we don't see a lot of the bigger pictures. So it kind of seems to me that I think our world too is, when I read that really hit me, because I'm like, man, like there's a lot of shit that could happen that could cause huge dramatic changes in our world, and I think we don't even realize it. And I think the one that sticks most with me is like war, so when you put like the war cry for the end of the world, and when you think about that, there's people out there, countries out there that fucking want that shit, like they're trying to make that shit happen, bro. Like they're pushing the fucking envelope. And shit could happen. Like China's doing crazy shit, and North Korea's doing crazy shit, and Iran's doing crazy shit. And you think about, I read about all these like military exercises that are happening and stuff like that. And you're like, man, it's like people are preparing for like something bad that's gonna happen. So it's kind of scary to me. It kind of freaks me out.
Now that you said that, I just watched a movie last night on Netflix called 22nd of July. It's based on a true story. It actually happened in Norway. This guy was an extremist.
Yep.
He didn't like the fact that Norway was letting in immigrants, Muslims especially, into the country.
Yep.
And they had a band camp for, not a band camp, like a camp for kids. And all these kids were daughters and sons of political people in Norway. So this guy goes to, bombs first the political center of Norway.
Yeah.
And then he goes to that island.
Was that a true story?
Yeah, it's a true story.
Yeah.
It happened in 2011.
And then too, you hear about all these white supremacists, even in our own country, who are doing crazy shit. And then we saw what happened with the Capitol riots, and it's crazy, dude. I mean, it's crazy.
The guy from Iced Earth, or who was it?
Yeah, John Schaefer from Iced Earth was there.
I was like, is that really him?
That's really him, dude. I couldn't believe it either. But I always knew, I've known John Schaefer for a long, long time. And he was always pro, like right-wing, pro-American, as long as I've known him. And then like even some of his records, it's pretty evident. But yeah, dude. Okay, guys, as we get near the end of this interview, let's lastly talk about, we've kind of alluded to the fact that you guys are doing new music already. So how far along are you in the writing process? How many tracks? Are you going to release another full length, or what's the plan? An EP this time, or what do you want to do?
Oh, we're first started doing a 6-song EP for dedicated to our ex-singer.
Okay.
And
when did he pass away again?
March last year.
Oh, okay. Right at the beginning. He didn't die of COVID, did he?
No.
Oh, okay.
No,
we had some people in our metal scene die from COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually had one died a couple weeks back.
Yeah.
Ex-member of his band.
Oh, okay.
Remember Slogan? He was at the show.
From COVID.
The show that we did for you.
Yeah, yeah.
In the hospital.
Yeah, so it's just that's what we were discussing if we wanted to go, a full length or do a 6 song. So we're probably going to do a 6 song, and then later on write for a full length.
Okay. Do you guys have those 6 songs already in the can? I mean, are they written already? Or
We have
For the most
4,
part, yeah.
3, 4 that are written already,
Right.
and then we have the other 3 just floating out there. Still be working.
yeah. Good, man. That's great.
Like you was mentioning, and I'm glad you brought that up because I'd forgotten about that part. The idea was already to do that for our ex-singer. So I'm glad we're still gonna do that. But he actually asked me on the way over here, I think for the purpose of this interview, so EP or a full length, and I'm still pushing for full length. So just understand that. We're gonna do a full length, and I'm gonna take him kicking and screaming, and we're gonna go for full length.
I think there's kind of pros and cons. I think nowadays bands even like a 6-song EP, to me that's a good chunk of music.
Right.
And if let's say Unholy Horde had 10 tracks, right? So even if you do like a 6-song EP, release it, next year, and then maybe in the summer release another 4-song EP.
Yeah.
It kind of keeps your name out in the market. It kind of keeps you have new artwork. It kind of keeps you something new to talk about. And I think that's the way a lot of bands are going now. And even without the EPs, they're just kind of doing singles now.
Yeah,
that's releasing singles.
Something that I was talking about earlier, like perfect example, the vocalist from Grave, he has a new band called Demagoddon or something like that, and he don't even have a full length album. It's just single songs that are on Bandcamp. It's 10 songs. He got 10 songs on there, and they're just singles.
Yeah. Machine Head does that. I think Rob Flynn was really the first big name that really started doing that. And people will go up there and buy it.
Yeah.
$1.20 to buy a song on iTunes. It's nothing.
Or on Bandcamp.
I think he just released a 3-song EP too. But yeah, I think that's kind of a smart way to go. You release the full length, and sometimes people, especially young people, they don't really have the attention span to put forth the effort into a full length, and then you blew your fucking wad, right there. So you're done.
The other thing too is
for a year.
The other thing too, since I got into the band, especially working with these guys, usually the material that we were writing, it's usually spontaneous when we're at the jam room, and because we've consistently been doing that, where there's only a couple of pieces that maybe Rob already had or that I had that I brought already ahead of time to the practice, but even with those, as we do them at the practice, we spontaneously create.
Right.
And because we've been consistently doing that, that's why I'm like, we need to come up with a full album.
Sure.
Because if we can do that consistently, and we've been doing that consistently for months already, then it's easy to just fill out an album. And I don't want to just say, okay, well, we're done here, and that's it. And then now, okay, the album's done. I'd rather, let's keep going and see how far we can go. Not, of course, over-exaggerate it and not make it, like you said, ridiculously long, but just a nice 10 solid set.
Or it doesn't mean you don't have, you can only write 6 songs. Write the fucking 10 songs, then pick the best ones. Pick the best ones. Pick the best ones. Okay, guys. Man, I think we've covered the whole gamut. Anything that I missed? Anything else that you guys want to talk about? One of the things that I want to kind of quickly mention is the fact that are there any official videos from Unholy Desecration?
No official videos. We want to do one.
Yeah.
We just haven't got around. It's hard to get us all together since he works, with the oil fields.
I got in the pandemic time.
Yeah.
The pandemic is another reason too, and he also works in the same field, but his schedule's a little different from the rest of us.
Yeah, I'd love to at least see one video for Unholy Horde.
We have videos, but they're all live.
Yeah, I'm talking about a real video.
Yeah,
like a real
and
video.
I already have in my mind a video. I have it storyboarded in my mind already.
Right.
For one of our particular songs, "Sacrifice."
Tell us.
I've told Rob about it already. We just need to get it together.
Then who he tells the guy for
And that's because I'm older.
You might wanna
Tell
look.
me next time.
There's this guy in our scene. His name's Ruben Alvarez. He has his own video company. He's also the guitar player for Upon a Burning Body, and he's been doing video work for all these bands in San Antonio, and he does really great work, and he's very affordable. Yeah, I mean, he's probably the most affordable guy that you're gonna find to do a really good quality video for you. Whether you just want to, do like a performance thing, or I've seen him do that, and I've also seen him do like a script, a storyline.
I was actually involved with a video during this past year with a local band from the Valley called Situation Fucked.
Yeah.
I was actually playing the priest. I'm supposed to be a child molesting priest in the video, and I get attacked coming out of the church, thrown in a car, and
Wow.
yeah. So,
All right, guys. Well, let's go ahead and let everyone have an opportunity to say any final words. Let's go ahead and start with Rob, and we'll pass the mic this way. Any final words, Rob? Anything you want to say? Anything you want to say out there to your fans or people who are going to watch this interview?
Evil as fuck.
Andale.
Yeah, man. Shit. Just thanks to our fans, man, because if without them, it wouldn't, where we are now wouldn't be possible. As well as, all the other musicians everywhere here, San Antonio, RGV, anywhere, man, you know what I mean? It's like I was saying earlier, music is a universal language, and through that we stay together, you know what I mean? And for that, I thank you. And everyone else too, brother, you know what I mean?
I think all I want to say is just say pretty much the same thing Josh says. Thanks to everybody that's supported us, whether it be in the RGV, anywhere else. I know we have a lot of supporters in Dallas. We have Tex Metcon from Dallas. He's been trying to get us up there. The guys from Astenex.
Sure.
We played a show with them, and they've been wanting us to get up there.
Yeah.
Everybody here in the Valley, all over Texas, the Valley, anywhere, there's a band called Monodyssey that's been wanting us to play the show with them. Thanks to those guys too. Thanks to everybody. Without you guys, we wouldn't be where we're at right now.
Awesome.
And myself, just thanks again. Same thing like these guys are saying. Thank you, everybody. Looking forward to the new material. Thank you for all the support, everybody that's been supporting us. Thank you, Rob, for this interview. And we're drastically looking forward to releasing new material for you guys. Looking forward to that. And again, cheers to hopefully a good 2021. Forget last year.
2022. One more person, I forgot. Sounds of White Noise. He's the guy that helped us get our album out. He's the one that helped us get our album out. He helped us out monetary wise, with money. If it wouldn't have been for him, we wouldn't have got that album out.
That's great.
So
great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for this killer interview. I know everybody out there is going to appreciate it, and I appreciate you guys coming all the way up here. I look forward to hearing new music from you guys. So, Rob, send me some tracks, man. Whenever you want. Don't pull an Archangel on me, okay? Shoot me some shit.
Justin, you're in trouble.
I got his stuff here. Angel stuff in here.
Because I want to keep up with Unholy Desecration, and I hope you guys and hopefully soon next year can come up to San Antonio and play a show.
Yeah, we actually been wanting to do that.
Or maybe I'll go down to the Valley by chance and check you guys out. I'd love to go check out a show in the Valley.
Don't go to Brownsville.
Yeah, exactly. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Remember, everyone out there, the band's latest record is called Unholy Horde. It is out there on the internet. Be sure to look for it and get it. You saw Unholy Desecration only right here on Rob's